Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. This week on the show, we have the Jeanines talking up their latest album, Don't Wait for a Sign, on the legendary Slumberland Records. I asked them how they got connected with this fantastic label, how they're able to practice while living in different states, why they love playing Europe, the method behind their brief song duration. Listen, if you're going to take this album on a walk, make sure it's a 20-minute walk, because Don't Wait for a Sign is a very quick album, but these songs pack a big punch. Please help me welcome the Jeanines to My Little Underground. Jeanines, welcome to My Little Underground. Glad to have you two.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You two are geographically apart. Like, who's in Ridgewood and who's in the Berkshires?
I'm in Ridgewood.
Oh yeah, so am I.
Oh,
we're about to. I'm so sorry about this. I really should have. I should have known this phone. Trying to do this with this phone was going to be a disaster.
Yeah, you're a real disaster.
I'm a real disaster.
Jed's in the Ridgewood, and I also used to live in Ridgewood, and I'm in the Berkshires. I'm in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
But Jed lives on Madison Street and Onderdonk, and I last lived on Woodbine and Onderdonk. But I've lived in various places in Ridgewood, and he's lived in another place in Ridgewood as well.
Oh, I'm very close.
It's true.
There. We're essentially neighbors, Jed.
Oh, where?
Are you do you know Deep Cuts Records?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to there. So with Don't Wait for a Sign, since you guys are apart geographically, did you have any issues recording this album?
We finished this album before I moved,
Okay.
because this album was finished by the end of 2020, basically, and it just took this long. It was mastered by January 2021. It just took that long for it to get in the queue for production and for the vinyl to actually be produced, because vinyl is like so delayed. That's why, but I didn't move until February 2021. So it's our next album you should be worried about.
Okay, so that means it's going to be another album. That's a good sign. How do you guys maneuver practice in living in different areas?
That's not too easy. Basically, hold on.
We don't practice very often.
Oh, that's so much better. Okay.
We don't practice very often. Like for our shows coming up in June in California, I'm only gonna be in New York once before then to practice.
Yeah.
And like for our shows in Europe, I think we ended up having someone play bass with us who didn't live in New York even. So like we practiced 0 times, and we basically used our sound checks as practice. So luckily, he doesn't really need practice with drums, although he should listen more to the new songs. I practice by myself, and whoever's bass with us practices. And now for the California, it's like complicated. Like each time we have to figure it out. But yeah, basically I have to come to New York if we want to practice, for the most part.
How long are your sound checks?
Not very long.
Yeah, I mean the set's pretty short, so we can squeeze in half of a set in a sound check pretty easily if we want. But
No, not quite.
well, how long is this? I mean,
In Europe we got longer sound checks, because in Europe everything is better. But
the entire experience of playing shows and touring and getting paid and everything about it is better. It's embarrassing.
But yeah.
Is that why your songs are so short?
No.
We did just answer this question, and what was about why the songs are so short?
The songs are partially so short because I had never written songs before, and I just didn't understand why anyone would bother writing more than 2 verses. And it seemed both difficult to write more lyrics and unnecessary because the song seemed finished. And then Jed, who has lots of experience in music, agreed and was like, these songs are great as they are. let's keep them short. Let's really lean into it. So it was sort of a combination of.
I make them shorter sometimes.
It was sort of a combination of an accident and on purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually love songs that are shorter, just I think because like when I listen to like certain punk songs, I think it's great that like a songwriter can pack so much into a short duration. And there was an artist that was on My Little Underground a little while ago, Buster Wolf. He's a producer, and a lot of his some of his songs on his latest EP were less than a minute, were like 55 seconds, and the songs are full enough for me. They complete the package. So I think it's great that you're able to write songs in such a compact form. I also like compact car too. I don't like SUVs and stuff like that too. So
I mean,
the compactness of your music. Yeah.
Like Alien Land by Guided by Voices and Pink Flag are two models of that for me. Like Alien Lane's especially 30-second songs that are complete ideas.
And contemporarily, there's Tony Molina, who we love.
Yes.
Yeah, we've exchanged emails about how we both love each other's short songs. So, so there is a precedent, and our songs aren't the shortest of the bunch, but yes, they're quite short, and people always remark on that. But I mean, as long as I'm not like specifically limiting myself for that reason when I write songs, I don't think it's really a problem.
Yeah, and it's not, for me, it's complimentary to me. I love stuff like that. That's why I harped on it, because it's something that I find fascinating and artistic too. And what's to say, like, what is the proper song duration? There isn't one. I don't think.
Honestly, I find most songs are too long, like period. Like like 4 minute, most people write like 4-minute songs, and like very few songs that I hear need to be 4 minutes long.
Well, your songs,
what's that?
Your other band songs are like 2 or 3 or 4.
They're not, they're rarely ever, they're more like 3. Yeah. Sometimes 2.5, sometimes 2. I mean, my own stuff is pretty short too. It's not quite as short as Jeanines, but I lean in that direction already.
Is there anything about music or song composition that needs to be there for you?
Give us a little more.
You mean like parts of a song?
Oh yeah, that too. Like, do you need a guitar solo? Does it need to be catchy or something like that?
Oh, it definitely has to be catchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the song shouldn't be boring, because if it's a boring song, you haven't succeeded.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I want every single second to have something groovy going on, basically, or else I just like, I don't even necessarily need that from other music, but for me personally, and this affects Jeanines too, like I don't trust someone to be in like not get bored for like a single second. So I want it to always have something going on.
Yeah, well, your bass parts often add that.
Yeah, bass often filling that role.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't write a song with fewer than 2 verses, and I wouldn't write a song without a chorus. But other than that,
do we have any songs without choruses?
Not really, but sometimes the chorus is one line or something.
I know that I've often been like poo-pooed a bridge. Been like, this doesn't need a bridge. Bridge is often unnecessary.
Well,
Depends on...
a minority of my songs have bridges.
Yes.
It happens though.
It happens to the best of us. You write a bridge, sometimes a bridge happens.
Yeah. Well, you've added an instrumental part to a few songs.
Well, there were some that needed something pacing, and it didn't need a bridge, like a singing bridge. So you put a little thing,
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like an artist by artist basis. But what about your own personal listening habits? For your own taste, do you think that a certain song or an album or an artist needs to have certain qualities for your, for repetition? Okay.
No.
Oh, for our own listening for other people, Alicia?
No, songs strike me and then I listen to them over and over again. But they don't have one consistent quality besides there's something beguiling about them. What it depends, honestly. Like it can be the chords, it can be the bass part, it can be the vocal quality. I mean, it has to have something catchy about it. Like it wouldn't just be someone singing like one note for 4 minutes, but
It could be, who knows?
unlikely. But
I mean,
I don't know, it has a certain quality, but that might just be like an individual thing that appeals to me. I don't know.
The only thing that I know is like I struggle like if there aren't drums on a song, like it has to make up for that somehow. And also I prefer there to be real drums, but not, I do love some music that doesn't have real drums, but drums are usually the common denominator for most of the music I love has drums. There's like Young Barbell Giants or something like that would be an exception, or Marine Girls or something, but drums are definitely the thing.
Yeah.
Air drum.
Slumberland Records. How'd you guys connect with this legendary label?
Well, I knew Mike from I was friends with a lot of bands he put out, like Cause Commotion, Crystal Stilts, and Pains of Being Pure at Heart. So I kind of got to know him through that, and he like messaged me one day because he heard Jeanines song. He's like, hey, I really love this, like the Jeanines stuff. And I was like, oh, you want to put out the record? And he said, yeah. And that's it. That's what happened. It's pretty simple. I told Alicia and she was like, what?
I of course was thrilled, and I was like shocked, and I was, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's like really a dream for both of us to be on Slumberland.
Yeah, and Mike is such a wonderful guy, so we're lucky.
What are some of your favorite artists on the roster, both past and present?
Isler Set is one of my favorite bands, but also I mean, Cause Commotion, Crystal Stilts, Pains. But my housemate is
Falls, were they on it?
Cause Commotion. What's that?
Veronica Falls, were they on it?
Yeah.
What else do we like? I don't know. I have to go to their website. I always forget like what's actually been on Slumberland, and I assume certain bands have.
I made a list for myself. I could share you mine. Maybe we'll have some comments.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this is all, past and present mixed together. Peel Dream Magazine, Mercury Girls, Wild Honey, the Springfields, the Spook School, and Black Tambourine. Those are my jams.
I was gonna say Black Tambourine.
Well, we love Black Tambourine. Oh, so I'm looking at the full roster now. It looks like Neutrals put out like an EP on there. We love Neutrals. They're on Emotional Response for their LPs. We love the Isler Set. We loved the Mantles. We loved them a lot.
Yeah, I can't believe we got the Mantles.
Yeah, I forgot. We love Tony Molina. We love Veronica Falls. What else? I mean, that's some of the real main ones there.
Isler Set was probably the first Slumberland band that I heard.
We love Cause Commotion, and we also know them. I liked that Big Troubles record when it came out. It's sort of like I forget about it. I loved Dum Dum Girls. Jed loved we love Crystal Stilts. I played in a band with the Crystal Stilts guys. That's what I was gonna say. The Vaseline show.
Yeah,
you were at that I filled in on drums for.
I know.
Did you already say this?
Yeah, we have a funny story where I was like in 2010, like in my, like I didn't know Jed, but like we were in the same room together because I was at that show, the Vaseline's reunion, and I guess they played with Crystal Stilts, and then Jed was like filling in on drums for Crystal Stilts.
Yeah.
We didn't meet until like 3 years later. And then the last one I would say is I love the Go Sailor album, which is like for some reason it's like a lesser known like Rose Melberg thing, because like for instance, Spotify doesn't have the Go Sailor record on there, but like I think it's a really perfect indie pop record that is like super poppy but not without like teeth, which some indie pop certainly is just sort of like
Doesn't have teeth.
so boring.
Your facial expression, Alicia, just summed it up perfectly. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Of
Y'all
course,
remember-
I love all the Circle Jerks records on Slumberland too. I forgot about that.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Now,
He's joking.
Well, you know what? You never know these days, you know.
could have
But
happened.
you can't make jokes to strangers.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
shit,
maybe
really?
maybe Slumberland's trying to get into the punk sphere. You know, we don't know. We don't know their business practices, right?
Mike had a band called Hard Left that was a bunch of years ago. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna ask. Do you guys remember the Fortuna Pop Continental Drift compilation that Slumberland put out?
Yes.
2016.
Mhm.
So good. I love that.
I
To me,
don't think I've heard that since then. Actually, that's good. Thanks for reminding me of that.
yeah. So it's very tight too. I think it's like only 8 songs on it. It's very good. 2 songs per band.
I never listen to music, so I forget. I really don't. I never put on music. I mean, it's not like, you know, I know.
What's your
do, but
audio
I
listening
still
habits
forget
then?
about certain things.
What's that?
What are your audio listening habits then? When you guys are on tour driving to different shows, what do you put on podcasts or what?
We
I
don't
just-
really go on tour driving to different shows.
Yeah. We did when we were driving from LA, I demanded that we play Babylon Sisters by Steely Dan because I felt like driving on 101 listening to that song seemed like some sort of cinematic experience that I had to have once in my life. So there was that.
Mm.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, in the car, I feel like on one of our tours, I kept playing Exile in Guyville by Liz Phair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Now I use Spotify, which is terrible, but like they know me really well now, which is also terrible. And I
that shit.
I have a list of liked songs, and then I can make radios out of those, and I get introduced to new music like that way, which is like really easy. But I recognize it's like actively bad. But
It's also just doesn't even have that much music compared to many, many other places.
yeah, but I just found
Okay.
this new band, which is not new, and like half the album is good, and it's called like Peggy Sue, and it's like good. And I had never heard of them.
Buddy Holly.
Oh
I
right.
don't-
Yeah.
not even- It just
What?
you said Peggy Sue, so I just said Buddy Holly. That's not even really a proper joke. That's just you said a thing and I said a thing that reminded me of it.
Oh,
You know,
Am I-
back to Liz Phair, I heard Supernova at the gym once, which was
You heard what?
Supernova.
Oh, I'm
Liz
like,
Phair. Yeah. It was I was like, why are they this is so weird. And they played Veruca Salt too. I'm like, in the gym? I didn't
Yeah.
think they would play this in the gym, you know?
I
oh,
usually-
well,
I'll
I know
play-
now at like Planet Fitness, they have an app where you can put on songs like a jukebox. So I don't know if they have that, but
like that you can that they blast over the intercom.
yes,
Wow.
I haven't done it, but
Wait, really?
yes.
That seems like it could cause problems.
I mean, I'm a big nerd. I walk in, I don't go to the gym unless my playlist for my workout is set and
Yeah.
done. Like I don't even leave unless the songs are right, you know. That's how I am. So I want to talk about
You
Yeah.
listen to what's that?
no, go ahead. You go ahead, Jed.
I do listen to music sometimes, but it's pretty much always just Black Sabbath. That's pretty
Okay.
much what I
What
listen
album? What Sabbath album?
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or the first and second ones, and any of the first 4 really.
Oh yeah. Volume 4 is my favorite. I found an
Yeah.
original copy of Volume 4 at Deep Cuts actually. Yeah, sounds
Oh,
great.
wow.
Yeah, for a good price too.
I also don't buy records.
Oh man, what are you doing,
I know.
Jeb?
I'm a terrible music person.
You're a terrible music person. Yeah, and you
Because
guys
I
have
work-
records out too.
Spend so much time like in front of a computer, like recording music. I just
Yeah, like I make podcasts and I work in podcasting and I still love to listen to podcasts too. But you know,
I don't
get
know
it.
what it is then. I don't know. I just forget that like it's a thing that people do to put on music while they're doing something. And then when I do it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. And then I
What
just
do you
forget.
do when you're walking?
Podcasts when I'm walking, because I want to have something that's like really making me forget I'm exercising if I'm doing like an exercise walk.
What if you're walking to the space?
I don't put on anything when I'm walking to the space.
Listen to the birds. They have plenty of things to say that we don't listen. That's the thing.
I know we don't listen to the birds. You know why though? It's because they're not real.
Oh wow, that's right.
I thought it was because they're boring.
No, I think the birds by my window are very exciting.
Maybe because they're Trump supporters.
What?
There were tons of birds at the Capitol on January 6th, so yeah.
That joke. What I don't get
I'm just saying weird things about birds.
Yeah,
okay,
damn.
That's the entire joke. It's not really a joke.
Outside my window.
Yeah.
You have what?
A whole pigeon colony.
Oh, that's right. You do.
I hear them constantly all day long. I love them.
There's a bunch of pigeons that hang out at the Long Island Railroad. That's where I see a lot of pigeons, just waiting for the train. Yep. I want to talk about
commuter pigeons.
Oh yeah, exactly. With messages on their feet.
I think those are carrier pigeons, Alicia.
There you go.
But they're taking the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, to Long Beach. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna ask about the titular track of your new album. I think the chorus of the song has been in my head, and it's kind of like a mantra to me. Wash away your worry lines. You still have a lot of time. I love that. It's powerful stuff. So is this the messaging of this song? Or is it for you two to get the optimism out of you, or for the listener to remain or obtain some optimism?
I wasn't thinking about the listeners at all. I was thinking about myself and my close friends.
Yeah, the funny thing, I don't bloviate about lyrics too often, but I was thinking about that recently, that song, and I was like, that's kind of a perfect illustration about the way in which me and Alicia are really different, where I'm a person who will always, I will not take action. I will wait for the sign. And Alicia's kind of the opposite, where she's just, much more action oriented.
Yeah, but like it's more, that part's less important. The part that's important is like myself and you and a couple other of our friends have been like, it's too late. Like I can't do this or I can't do that in my life.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like reassuring both myself and like the people I love that like, whether or not it's true, that like you still have more time. It's not too late. You can still do the thing that you're talking about. Like you feel like you missed your chance.
I have to say this album is very walk friendly. I took this when it came out last week. I took a nice walk, and one, it's only a 20-minute album, right? So it's just perfect, You get to your destination and you're already starting over. You're already on track 3 again, the second time through. So
right.
I think about the amount of like recording I did and mixing, like the hours I spent doing it for like a 20 minutes. It all came down to 20 minutes. I'm like, it's not a lot of value for my labor hours there.
Now imagine if you were a metal band making 7-8 minute songs. Imagine all that time.
Pivot time, Alicia. Pivot to metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know earlier on you guys said you love playing Europe. So how was the Madrid Popfest? What was that like?
It was awesome.
It was fun. It might have been the biggest venue we've ever played. And we were just treated really well. Someone was selling our merchandise for us.
What?
Yeah, well that's definitely something that happens there, but also like
and there was food, like there was a whole like balcony area for the artists with free alcohol and food.
Yep.
And then we were paid like hundreds of dollars.
And I walked in and like a bunch of people were waiting to buy other albums by my other things, and I sold out all of them in like a minute. And
they wanted us to.
It was like a full, it was a constant ego stroke. It was a little much.
People wanted us to take selfies with them and sign the records.
Yeah.
It was really bizarre but flattering.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then Paris was like less so because it was just a smaller thing, but it was still really lovely. We had like a father and son come, and like the son was like 10 or 11 or 12, and they were like, we're huge fans. And
I forgot about that.
the people who put on both the shows were like really lovely people. Like, we just felt really lucky that, you know, like it was a stressful thing to plan in some ways, but we felt really happy to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jeanines, plug away. This is your plug time. Share people the record, where to buy it, stream it, steal it, whatever.
Oh, well, we prefer that you buy the record on Slumberland Records website or our Bandcamp, but you can also buy it elsewhere, I'm sure. You can also buy it in many smaller record stores. You can stream it wherever streaming is available, I believe. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal,
Doing good.
whatever I'm forgetting right now.
It's definitely at Amoeba.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's probably at Rough Trade. I know they've tweeted about us. And then smaller record shops, I hope. Yeah, just go online and go to our Bandcamp and find that out, and at least give it a whirl. It'll only take you 20 minutes.
If you don't like it, you can write me personally and I will buy it back from you, and I will apologize. I'll make a video.
No,
Oh
don't
no,
do that.
don't do that. Don't listen
so
to
sorry.
Don't listen.
No.
Listen to Jed, people.
Don't listen
That's
to this part of the podcast.
No, I'll edit it out.